I'm Brenda Mahoney for ACMi News. Arlington Public Schools responding to the killing of George Floyd while being arrested by Minneapolis police. Superintendent Kathleen Bodie putting out a statement pointing to ongoing diversity training for staff members and a video message from Arlington High School Principal Matthew Janger saying they are not immune to racism, pointing to the work they are doing regarding a disproportionate amount of black students being suspended. Meanwhile, the school committee continues to deal with the fallout of the pandemic at its May 28th meeting, hearing about remote learning and the participation rates there, and looking at that and planning for next year. Arlington Public School Superintendent Kathleen Bodie revealing what she called interesting trends heading into the second half of the remote learning plan.
At the elementary level, the participation for the hangout meetings is higher than it is for turning in assignments. And that's even markedly different, a little bit different between the K-2 and the 3-5. The principals hypothesized that one of the reasons why the assignments turn in at the earlier grades is lower is that it involves so much more parent support to do that.
But when it comes to class video meetups, Bodie says the opposite is true at the secondary level. And according to one middle school teacher, a pilot of live synchronous lessons is simply falling flat.
We don't get full participation from the kids, which is hard, and more and more, the kids who are showing up pop in and they don't have their cameras on, they don't have their microphones on, and it gets really challenging. I mean, I've been running mine as current events discussions, and trying to talk about racism in America when you're just looking at a bunch of initials on a screen and you can't get any sort of facial recognition feedback from kids is really hard.
Assistant Superintendent Roderick McNeil saying a study group will look at ways to improve live direct learning.
The various things that we're going to focus on is expectations of students, sharing best practice, and identifying guidelines that we can share with teachers so that they can take these things in consideration as they do their lesson planning, and also to identify the tools, the technology tools that we can utilize to support teachers in their lesson planning.
APS preparing for 3 possible learning scenarios for next year with full on-site school, the least likely, according to Bodie.
There's really 3 basic models we could be facing next year. One is just returning to school as normal. I'm not sure that's highly likely, but if we were in an entire remote or if we're in a hybrid model, and we're planning for all of these, what we're learning now is going to be very helpful. I think everybody understands that if we are in a remote learning environment next year, starting school, that we would have to learn from this so that we have probably a different schedule to what we're doing. In fact, definitely a different schedule. Much more synchronous teaching, but then learning what is an appropriate length of time for that as well.
Another possible barrier to live lessons brought up is teachers with children of their own. School committee member Jeff Thielman saying, overall, parents are tired and the school should try to reopen.
The reality we face as we deal with COVID-19 is that we can't make it perfect. We can never make it perfect in this environment. We're going to have to live with some uncertainty. We're going to have to respect parents' rights. Many parents, many people that I run into feel like our mindset, at least, has to be that we're going to do everything we possibly can to open as safely as we possibly can, understanding we can't be perfect.
Another school committee member did mention concerns for staff members if they were to return to work. It's really out of the school committee's hands. There are CDC guidelines for schools reopening, and at the state level, there is a return to school working group with results of that expected over the summer. Brenda Mahoney, ACMi News.